Hi guys, today I'm going to talk about the book written by Mike Massimino, Spaceman. So this book is 300 pages. It's the biography of Mike Massimino from when he was a kid until he became an astronaut. He shared his life and how he was able to achieve his dream. So Mike was part of the last mission to save the Hubble telescope. So the Hubble telescope is the furthest place man can travel above the Earth since 1972 when we had the mission to the moon. It's 350 miles above the Earth and it's higher than the International Space Center. So Mike was a spacewalker working in space outside the spaceship, and he achieved the toughest mission ever as a spacewalker. So how a small kid, average kid from the US was able to become an astronaut and even a spacewalker. To become an astronaut is very competitive. NASA, every year they have to screen 5,000 applicants and just select 20 potential astronaut. And in fact, Mike was working in IBM at the time. He had a very good salary and a good life, but he wanted to achieve his dream and he just left IBM to focus on achieving his dream. To become an astronaut is very, very hard. So he chose the hardest path in order to achieve his dream. So he was not the smartest kid at school. In fact, he failed many of his exams in some very tough classes, and he was having a lot of trouble to go through those classes. But he pushed himself. He was cramming a lot of information into his brain, but still he was not able to succeed in his exams. So he decided to become a teacher, to teach lessons of the topics he didn't understand. By becoming a teacher, he was able to grasp the meaning and be able to understand the topics. And then he succeeded. He also had some physical issues. He had some vision issues. And to be an astronaut, you had to get perfect vision. And he had to make some medical procedures and go through a lot of trouble, but he persevered and he persevered in order to be able to become an astronaut. So that was a point that made him fail, but he didn't stop then. He said, I want to become an astronaut, so if I have to trick my brain to change my vision, then I will do it. And he did it at the end. But the most difficult part for him was the lack of trusting himself. He didn't believe in himself. And to become an astronaut, you must have a strong belief in yourself, because when you're in space, everything depends on you. And that was one of the highest issue he had to face in his life, how to trust himself. And this again, through training and also through the help of other astronauts, he was able to cope with this problem of trust. He faced one very, very big issue when he was in space, repairing the Hubble telescope. He had trouble to remove the batteries of the telescope, and then he started to doubt. And once the doubt was there, he was like, I spent my whole life training myself for this moment, and at that moment I didn't trust myself. And he started to think about going back to Earth and becoming a big failure, because the government spent billions to repair this telescope, and he was not able only because of this lack of trust. And that time his colleague astronaut cheered him up, and he was able to regain trust on himself, and he repaired the Hubble telescope. So that comes to the next point, which is you need other people to help you in your path to reach the dream. So it's not a one-man show. You must gain help from the others. So the key learning from his life is you can't do things by yourself. You need others to help you. He struggled in his education, and people helped him, experts helped him to go through and graduate. He struggled in space, and his astronaut colleagues helped him out. So the key things, if you want to become an astronaut, is to be accepted by other astronauts. It's not about politics. Other astronauts want to have you in their team. So the good thing from Mike, he's very social, very humble, and that's the kind of personality features that are necessary to be part of the astronaut team, because at the end it's a team. When they are together in space, their life depends on their other astronaut colleagues, so they have to trust each other. And that's one of the reasons why he had those skills, human skills, that helped him out to become part of this exceptional journey. So those are two things that you will gain from the book. One is, even though you are an average person, if you always strive, face the problems, the failures, and try again with a strong determination, you can access your dream. And the second point is to trust others that will help you. You're not alone in this life journey. You need the help of the others, and that's how you achieve the dream. One good part also from the book is that we lost interest in space, and Mike was trying to rekindle this spirit of exploration, and he understood that people don't care about robots, people care about people. So we don't care that robots landed in Mars or landed in the moon. In fact, Russia was the first to reach the moon. They sent a rocket to the moon and exploded in the moon, but people forgot about that. What we remember is when men were able to land in the moon, and Neil Armstrong in the first steps. So he put his face in front in the media to rekindle the spirit and showing that astronauts are human beings going in space. And that attracts a lot of attention, and people start to care a little bit more about space. So it's a different perspective, a different approach about how to motivate people to be interested in space exploration. Some key quotes. There are emergency and safety signs all over the interior of the shuttle. That stuff is there to give you something to read before you die. Going to work for IBM was not a mistake. It was something I needed to do in order to realize it wasn't what I wanted to do. Being the right person is not about being perfect. It's about being able to handle whatever life throws at you. I will give this book the grade B. Thank you guys, and I'll see you on my next video.